Morning. Happy New Year to everybody. It's a Saturday morning here in London. Wet, very overcast, and I'm sitting here wondering what to do, wasting time. So I've just done this design of some trees, just more distant, a couple of, well, one large one here, a bit of distant hills with a tree on, a bank of trees, and a bit of grass, a bit of foreground. Nothing. I'm trying to make something out of nothing here. So, being asked about composition. Now, I'm not one for taking my own advice, but there are one or two rules that I try to follow. Never put the main point of interest in the middle, and your points of interest should be third down, third in, or third up. So there, 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 and there. On top of that, you've got L-shaped compositions with, say, cliffs and a beach. And if you do a figure, I do put figures in the landscape, as you know, but I try to remember to put them walking into the picture rather than walking out of the picture towards. So paint them from the back. But apart from that, not a lot. We all know about perspective. Things get smaller, and things on your eye line, that's your horizon, and things, buildings going away from you, converge onto that line. But just paint away. Don't get bogged down in the finer points of the technicalities. Get a good book or something. I don't really follow a particular. So I just do the painting. I just do it. Some work, some don't. But it is a problem that you think that the middle is where all the interest should be, but of course it divides everything else from the middle. But if you give points of interest around, you can lead the eye into a sort of a story, a narrative. But as it is, I wouldn't personally worry too much about it. It's something you learn from experience. I can't. If you're a beginner, I can only give you hints. I learned by bits of experience, by doing lots of it over many years. There aren't any shortcuts, I'm afraid, but there'll always be people that are better than you, whatever you do. I've said that many times, and it's true. So what I'm going to do is use the hake, put in I'll wet the paper all over. This is £130 weight Fabriano. 15 inches by 11. It's a good paper for wetting wet, and as it dries you can start to dry brush. You can drag a little bit of paint on that brush over the high spots to get a sparkle. I'm not sure whether I should make this into a silver birch, but anyway, let's start. And if you have any specific questions, you can always comment and I can get back to you. But as I say, I'm not a great one for rules. I'm also not an advocate for rules are made to be broken. They are really, aren't they? But with a scene like this, a simple woody rural scene. Ah, Freddie has come to see us. Hello, Freddie. You're not going to stay up there, mate. Right, just say hello to the viewers. Here's Freddie. He's our growing kitten. Say hello, Freddie. Here he is. Isn't he lovely? Hello, mate. Can make a few brushes out of his tail. Come on, there you go. Right, that'll be the battle. He'll be attacking my brush if he gets back on the table. So, better crack on. So I'm going to put a bit of raw sienna. My palette is lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna, which I like. I use student quality paints, They're Winsor & Newton cotton. They come in 21 millilitre tubes, and because they're expensive, you're not worried about using them, squeezing them out like that. They're relatively inexpensive, I should add. Get that wet. When the paper's wet like this, you can do a lot with it. But as it starts to dry and soak in, then strange things happen. Cauliflowers, but we try to avoid those by doing all the wet stuff quickly. And then when it starts to dry, we'll reclip the paper. It's all done by experience, really. The more you do, the easier it becomes, and the better you get at it. Right, we'll put in a bit of blue, ultramarine. This is a Ron Ranson hake. There are other types, but this is the one that we prefer to use. Freddie, you can't come up here, mate. Sorry. Don't take it personal. He's a lovely little cat. We've had him for over a month now. And he's a lovely little animal. Look, he's eyeing up my brush now. You can't see that, but just as you come down, if this is the type of sky you want, the clouds get smaller, obviously, because they're further away. But not necessarily. No. He's purring now. He sits on our head and purrs. No, you can't eat the clips. Oh, I'll show you. I'll show you. There he is. Look. No. I'm waiting for somebody to comment and say, "Can we see more Freddie and less of me?" Get down. Good. Good. Come on. Off you go. Meow. Good. Go away. Right. Okay. Enough of Freddie. He's playing with a plastic bag. He's now going to climb with all my paintings. Right. I'm thinking now of just drying that off. I've got my board at a 60-degree angle. It's better than vertical. Oh, Freddie. Oh. More trouble than all my money. You could try another approach now. He's approaching from the back. Don't you? Eh? Oh, he's such a lovely boy. Right. Yeah, I'm going to dry this off. So if you listen on headphones, take them off. There's still quite a bit of moisture in the paper. I'm just going to reclip it to pull any wrinkles out. So that way it stays more or less flat. I'll put in a background of blue, bit of ochre. Bit of yellow field of sienna. Vary the colours. Oi. No, you can't work it out with the clips. Come on, off you go. Go on. I'm just playing with this at the moment. I haven't really got a strategy for this. I'm just putting stuff in. Now we want some nice rich foreground there, so I'm going to mix burnt sienna, burnt ultramarine. Here he comes again. bit of shadow areas in here. And just dragging bits of the brush, the hake, over this. And I'll put in some darker greens in a minute. Oi, Freddie, you're getting very, very tiresome, aren't you, eh? We went away for a couple of days over the New Year, and we left him with a friend who's cat mad. She loved playing with him, except she wasn't happy about being woken up at 6:30 in the morning for his grub. But when we picked him up yesterday, he was sulking. But today he let us know how much he'd missed us. I'm going to put some thicker paint on over this, but I can just flick in some brush. But to do that, you need some really good darks. So a thick ultramarine and burnt sienna makes a good dark, good rich dark. I'll just flick out some of this. Now here I want a dry brush, and I'm going to use a round brush. Just flatten the paper again, and I'm going to use a mix of the winter scene. I'll use a bit of burnt umber. I prefer doing winter scenes. I love to see the tracery of branches, bit of blue. Quite a loose mix. And let's just put in a bit of background here. No, it's just dry brushing that nicely now. And they're going down there. So this is just a way of me showing bare trees with canopies of not canopies, but just the shape of the trees where all the twigs finish. So we just drag in some more there. Put some air back in there. Okay. Now I've got these bigger ones here, so we're going to warm those up. So a bit more burnt umber with the mix. Now that's a water trees coming up here, like a copse, but I want some blue in there to give an impression that there's some depth behind, there's something, and because the blue is a cooler colour, it will help to take your eye into the behind area. Now let's get some good rich dark in there now, the base. So burnt umber, blue, burnt sienna. Oh well. and then we can add stuff to that as that dries. Okay. Now I want to put some detail back in that foreground, so I'm going to dry it off. So bear with me. Take your headphones off if you're listening on your iPads. Now with the hake, I'm going to mix up a colour for silver birch, I think. So a bit of burnt sienna, a bit of blue, the hake is a good brush for doing this sort of thing. Bring the hairs together a bit. You get a good dark with burnt sienna and ultramarine. Try and bring my hairs of the brush back together. Dark here. Bit of burnt umber, that's a darker red. Right, I'll finish that with the rigger. Get dark on one side. So now, with a plastic card, oops, drop them on the floor, bits of plastic. I'm going to just scrape some of this scrape out some light spots of bark. Oops. You can overdo this, as you know, by watching me, which I quite often overdo it. But I'm just squeezing the paint out of the paper as much as I can, just to give an impression of the bark peeling off, but not a very good impression. Okay, let's find a bit of a rigger. Off you go, Freddie. Not allowed on my table, because you'll have it on the floor. Come on, off you go. Right, so I'm going to, some of these silver birch thin branches are quite dark. Bit of detail here. So I'm just trying to put in some bits of interest. I'll anchor them into the landscape in a moment. Shadow. Not a lot of it will show, but he's eyeing my brush up. Freddie is sitting on my laptop. Oi, hello. Good company. Right, let's put a bit of life into these trees here. No, Freddie. This is a lovely dark grey mixing burnt umber. Off you go. Go on. Young Freddie, come on. Off you go. Say hello again. Look, look, you won't be told. But he's such a lovely little cat. Aren't you, Freddie? Cat mad we are. So like all the cats in the neighbourhood. Probably got company tomorrow, including a lively young schnauzer. And came for Christmas. Freddie didn't like him at all. But the dog couldn't be bothered. I thought he'd try and eat the cat, but get off. Look, I'm doing delicate brush strokes here. Come on, come on. Off you go. Right, go. Now I'll put some warmth in the next one's a bit of green. Mix a bit of yellow with the mix. You need a lot of water with the rigger. It doesn't hold a lot, so you need to mix up a pool with it, just like I have. And I'll just bring some into the tips, or into the tops of the branch areas, and the tops of registering. It's not showing up there, is it? So I'll just put that in a bit harder. Got some more work to do on the foreground, but I want the twigs here to show. So I'm sure if I'm masking a little bit, but I want some of this. Right, that'll do for that. Now let's stiffen up some of this here. Get a good green going. I'm trying not to use Payne's grey. I'm using blue, burnt sienna, and yellow, burnt sienna and ultramarine. So we get some darker greens. I'm pushing the brush now. I want some heavier shadow colours in here. Really thick. No, it's dry brushing now. And some grass. Won't do too much of that. I think Freddie's taken the hint, he's vanished. I feel like me shoving him off the table. Yeah, just giving it a bit more strength now. Making it look as if there's a lot going on when all I'm doing is just dragging over the high spots and just changing the brush or the position of it. I don't want to go up too high with this. Now I'll see if I can just thicken up one or two of those there to separate them from the mass at the back. I could put some ivy in there, but I think that might be a bit of overkill. I'm reasonably happy with that as a statement. We can just add a few of this. Right, I'll give that a signature. Put it in a mount, maybe a couple of points. Just a couple of crows. Right, that's what I'm going to do with that. So So I've tried to make a painting out of nothing here, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's a very simple view. I'm quite happy with it. Maybe we need just a little bit of shadow area in there. Oh, okay. We can pretend these are down the hill a bit further away than that, or a lot further away than that. Then there's a bit of distance here. So we've got a clump of interest there, third up, third in, more or less, and the same here. We've kept away from the centre of the picture. That's all I can really say about composition on a landscape. But I think it's always a good practice to have a sketchbook and do a design first. You can do it in one colour. Burnt umber is a good colour. Work out your composition, work out your lights and darks, and if you want to put a figure, then by all means put a figure in. I could put a figure in here, but I'm not going to. I think that's just a bit too much. I'm quite happy with that. Thanks for watching. Let's take you into it and see what I've done. So it's not strictly a hake painting, although I did use hake for most of it. I like these sort of trees. There's my foreground. So there we are. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll just move that round a bit so we can see it's full on. Okay. Bye for now.